My name's Sam Norman, and I wrote the words.
My name is William. I am the composer for Play.
I went home to the UK for Christmas in 2019, and we were having drinks with some family friends, and I got chatting to the dad, who is in his late 80s, and he's an American guy, and I mentioned this project that we were doing in association with Rattlestick Theater, and he told me about the Washington Square Park riots in 1961, which were this incredible event when basically the New York City government tried to ban folk music from this park. And in response, hundreds, even maybe thousands of folk musicians from throughout the city came down to Washington Square Park and sang and played music and defied the orders, and there were violent arrests. And this guy was there as a lawyer giving free legal aid to protesters. So it seemed like a pretty amazing story, and we wanted to musicalize it.
It became really more personal and meaningful to us when over the summer, the Trump administration basically tried to get us all international students kicked out of the country. Basically telling again the musicians that they couldn't create, couldn't share their work, and couldn't play. So we're just really happy to be able to share it with everyone right now and enjoy the show.
I think the police action is illegal and not our action.
Please a minute.
The police action is to protect the people and give them the rights.
You walk through the park, no singing, no instruments.
Well, some people may sing, it's their free choice. It's our God-given right to sing.
I know.
It's just an extension of speaking. Since the American Revolution, people have been singing American folk songs, and we feel we have a perfect right to sing. Come, let's go to the park now. And I think
You can appreciate opposition.
I understand the police don't want to even be involved in it. I've spoken to a dozen policemen. The police are in the middle of it.
I'll sing you a jingle that started out small, but slowly grew into a rallying call. They raised every rooftop and shattered each wall, and rang out triumphant and gay. It began with a notice from Tammany Hall that told us that we couldn't play. So we came from our coffee shops, theaters, and bars. We stood with our friends in our songs and guitars against cops who had nightsticks and reinforced cars. And some of us started to pray. Then the city officials, all smoking cigars, they told us that we couldn't play. Grizzled and pale, but his singing was strong, though his body was frail. He started to sing of his country's betrayal, how he hoped we'd recover someday. So they cussed him and cuffed him and locked him in jail, for they told him that he couldn't play. And when we had seen what the policemen had done, we all carried on what our friend had begun, and we sang out the Star-Spangled Banner as one, and the policemen, they dragged us away. We were singing through tears at the end of a gun, 'cause they told us that we couldn't play. Going is rough and the journey is long. Your skin must be tough and your soul must be strong to protest against power that's vicious and wrong. And some folks will always obey, and you'll beg them to wake up and join in the song, but they won't 'cause they can't hear it play.
I've got a great folk song. It was written about 250 years ago. Oh, no, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it's a new one. But Star-Spangled Banner. Oh, say, can you sing Camera.
Hi there, I'm Katie Hazdovac. I wrote book and lyrics for this piece along with Dahlak Brathwaite.
I wrote the words and music for this piece.
Dahlak is really the reason I got to write this piece and learn so much about Malcolm X and Alex Haley.
I was inspired to write this piece because I have read the autobiography of Malcolm X many times. I believe it's shaped me in a great amount of ways, and to hear that Alex Haley and Malcolm X collaborated on this work very close to our NYU campus in the Village, I was really inspired to understand that journey a bit better. And I'm very excited about what Katie and I were able to accomplish with this work.
We have Dahlak playing Alex Haley and Chibeze playing Malcolm X.
Enjoy. The autobiography of Malcolm X almost didn't exist. Malcolm and I got off to a very poor start. He usually came around 9 or 10 and parked his blue Oldsmobile outside the studio. He was always tired after his long, busy days. He'd come in with his flat leather briefcase looking like an exhausted lawyer and stayed for a few hours. One night he arrived a little earlier than anticipated. A white friend of mine was in the studio when he arrived, and they passed each other in the corridor.
Who's that?
A friend of mine. How are you? I know you don't trust white people.
I don't completely trust anyone, not even myself. I've seen too many men destroy themselves. Other people I trust from not at all to highly, like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. You, I trust about 25%.
For perhaps a month, I was afraid we weren't going to get any book. Malcolm X was still stiffly addressing me as sir, and my notebook contained almost nothing but Black Muslim philosophy. Sometimes he would get passionate and I'd start to believe he might open up, but it was always dogma and more dogma from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us not to trust white men, not to trust black leaders who tell us not to fight men who beat us, while policemen believe in bloodhounds that bleed us. They preach in non-violence and peace and silence, but kindness is weakness. Don't trust the lies they feed us. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that the white man has laid pillage and cursed every village on earth. They played and rapture on natives, then named it after the captives, massed and enslaved us, and then blamed us for the disaster.
Even after tensions rose between him and the Nation of Islam, he was still preaching what you might call his personal beliefs, and yet there was hardly anything personal in what he was saying.
America teaches black people to hate our features. That bleach is the means to achieving the complexion of the white Jesus that America taught us to believe in. That dark skin is indecent. To hate your nose, your clothes, your own kind. To hate yourself. Hate your kin, your skin so much you sacrifice your health. America teaches the definition of black is the lack of all that's right. That God is white and the clouds in heaven is white. But my skin is not the absence, it's the evidence of life. America teaches you and me to drink and gamble, to receive a handful of ample income and spend none in our community, to forget your history, your traditions, your language, your character. But I'm not an American, I am a victim of America.
He still wouldn't talk about the one thing I was after as the author of his autobiography, his life. Then one night, Malcolm X arrived nearly out on his feet from fatigue. For 2 hours, he paced the floor delivering a tirade against Negro leaders. I don't know what gave me the inspiration to say once he paused for breath, I wonder if you'd tell me something about your mother.
My mother. She was always standing over the stove. She was always up, always on her feet. trying to stretch a can or a loaf, trying to give us something to eat. We were dizzy from hunger every day. She was dizzy from something that I never knew, wearing a dress that had faded to gray, wearing a smile with shades of blue. Some nights she'd stay up on her feet, I could see them through the crack in the door. Sometimes through the wall made of paper, I could hear as she was pacing the floor, saying, I just don't trust them, I just don't trust them, I just don't trust them, no I don't trust. I just can't trust them, I just won't trust them, I just can't trust them, no I can't trust. I knew her mind was never at ease. I knew when I heard her up at night, and I learned that my mother was called Louise. I learned that her mother was raped by a white man. She was light-skinned like me, but even more fair. It was the lightness in her and in me she hated. When they took her from us, they didn't care that she was strong and proud and educated. Separated from my brothers and sisters, I got a new family and a new bed. But no matter how nice they tried to make it, I heard my mama talking in my head, saying I just don't trust them, I just don't trust them, I just don't trust them, no I don't trust. I just can't trust them, I just won't trust them, I just can't trust them, no I can't trust. I see how black and white folks mix down here when I come around. They walk on the same bricks, but they don't share common ground. When you're colorblind, your vision blurs, but still they pretend that they understand what really occurs when our colors blend. They see gray, mild and faded, like my mother's kitchen dress. I see red, bright and burning, like my father in distress. I see the fire that killed him, I see them beating him with bats. I see the truth, that all of them are white devils in white hats. And that's why I just don't trust them. Centuries of suffering, so much destruction. Oh, I don't trust. I can't live amongst them. I got presumptions that they're up to something. How do you trust?
His talking about his mother triggered something. After that night, he never again hesitated to open up.
I'll see you at 9:15 tomorrow.
Over the next 2 years, I was privy to the most intimate details of the story, details that will make readers care more about the man preaching than they do about his sermons. I spent hours and hours getting to know Malcolm Little and Malcolm the Mascot and Detroit Red and every other iteration of who he was. Over time, I found the voice of Malcolm X. Of course, by then he had become El-Haj Malik El-Shabazz. Whoever he was, he kept me up at night. And it was always the nights that I managed to get to bed at a reasonable hour that he would call. One call that I will never forget came at 4 a.m., waking me. Hello?
Alex Haley?
Oh. Hey, Malcolm.
I trust you 75%.
Hi, my name is Joshua Varanus, and I am the composer of Greenwich 1957.
And I'm Claire Bierman, and I wrote the lyrics for this piece. And I think for both of us, it's impossible to think about the village from a historical perspective without thinking about change. So in a lot of ways, this is a piece about change. But additionally, I think it's a piece about how a place can memorialize a person. And even in the case of the village, which is obviously going through so much change, and even in us, we're going through so much change all the time, but that these changes can come together and be a part of how we honor a person or how we memorialize that person.
Which is why we were so compelled to write about Allen Ginsberg in the 1950s, as he was beginning to come to terms with his sexuality and his loss of religion and his relationship with his mother. We were particularly inspired by his poem Tisch. So our piece is from the point of view of Allen as he walks through the village and he starts to see his mother in everything, in every building, every tree. And we begin to see him exploring how to memorialize his mother.
I walked toward the Lower East Side, where you walked 50 years ago, little girl from Russia. Eating the first poisonous tomatoes of America, frightened on the dock. How strange it has been these years, how strange it may always be, to share in your sidewalk, but to walk it alone. I feel the footsteps of your history pushing me from one block to the next. Could leaves drying on the ground cover leaves that you passed through? How strange it is that you stood here. How strange it is that you stood. Oh, mother, over and over your voice, it drifts on klezmer clarinet from the Yiddish theater, singing soft elegies. You have no wrinkles now, but I do. If I pull your scarf tighter to my skin as I count these streets, 10, 9, 8, could I snare a memory on its thread? One more memory from oblivion. Oh, mother, what have I left out? Oh, mother, am I forgetting you? Another moment to say farewell. Oh, mother, am I forgetting you? Oh, mother, I am forgetting. Lord, the crows are shrieking over gravestones on Long Island. Lord, my voice is boundless, stark, and still echoed on the distant ring of time, rent out of foot and wing, sung like moonlight on a winter hill. Lord, the sun is white hot over gravestones on an island. Lord, oh Lord, Naomi in the grass, crying from the waving trees to ragged leaves roar memories of broken shoes the city buses pass. Oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Mother.
Hi, I'm Mikey. I wrote the lyrics.
Hi, I'm Brooke. I wrote the music.
And this is Grow in the City. Brooke, what was our inspiration for writing this piece?
Well, we noticed walking around the village that there were a bunch of small community gardens, and besides that, we thought they were super cool. Mikey ended up seeing a tree that had the date of when it was planted, and it was the same year that he was born.
Yeah, and so from there, we just got excited about, what was the origin of these trees, of these gardens in the community, and found out that there are tons of community gardens throughout the village, more in the village than the rest of Manhattan. And so we wanted to tell a story about the gardens from the trees' perspective.
It was super fun because the trees have seen so many things as time passes, as the city changes, but the trees have been there since the 80s or like 70s or so. So we thought it was really interesting to think about like who they've seen come and go and how the city's changed while they've stayed rooted.
So this is Grow in the City.
As pretty lovely as a city tree, there's always sky above me and you hope for open things. I'm still not sure who I'm trying to be or what this village life could bring. Making roots far from my home here, hoping that my fruits will show here. It's hard to grow in the city. My leaves have been expanding, I'm a dozen shades of green. The more my mind's been branching out, the more I doubt my seeds. My sights are getting higher, but I'm trying to get seen. I wonder if this garden can fill my needs. Growing pains remain deep inside me. Some sky stays till the humans try to hide me. Scared of what this spring could bring. It's hard to grow in the city. I've made it this far and that's something. I've become who I am from where I've been. If the gardens keep going, then we can keep growing. No matter how hard the ground is within. I've given up on trying to leave of my legacy. Growing tired of this city and its instability. The other trees around me have found some way to stay, but my friends have come and gone, and the memory fades away. Making change is harder when you're old. It's all set against you, there's no shelter from the cold. Maybe I finally reached my peak. Is this a garden where I still feel safe to speak? It's hard to grow in the city. You've made it this far and that's something. We've become who we are from where we've been. If the people keep going, then we can keep growing, as long as they nurture the garden we're in. Grow in the city.
Hello, I'm Maggie.
And I'm Earl, and this
Is our
song.
I did the words.
And I did the music.
For this little ditty, we were inspired by the Funny Face Bakery on 7th Street, where I also live. And we were also considering the plight of a young man who we named Paul, and we considered whether or not he would find the secret recipe for success, or will he make it before they bake it?
So, set your ovens to 350 degrees, put on your apron, cream your butter and sugar, and get ready for a taste of the musical magic of Moe and Marrows. Enjoy.
I'm an East Villager, born and raised. Right now I'm learning algebra, but I'm not fazed. I'm a great student and I like to have fun. If you ask me where I hang out, there's just one place that I go that's a real slice of heaven. Between 1st and 2nd, in the middle of 7th, the Funny Face Bakery is where I go. It has cookies of everyone you should know. And someday you're all gonna see a cookie made of me. I just want my face on a cookie. I know that it might sound strange, but I just want my face on a cookie. I promise you I'm not deranged. 'Cause having your face at the bakery of funny means so much more than success, fame, or money. I just want my face on a cookie. Just want a cookie of my face. High school was simple, I passed it with ease. Valedictorian, no photos please. Roll ride to Harvard, a new world to explore. The future has nothing but open doors. Before I head off to seek my truth, I might need a second to sate my sweet tooth. I go to my place, sweetly sniff the aroma, a smile on my face and my college diploma. Today, I just might see a cookie made of me. But I didn't see my face on a cookie. There must be some mistake. I didn't see my face on a cookie. How much longer is this gonna take? 'Cause having your face at the bakery of funny is worth so much more than success, fame, money. I just want my face on a cookie. Just want a cookie of my face.
Babe, Can't you just go to www.funnyfacebakery.com, select 5 cookies, and upload 3 photos of yourself? It's like $100, but if it's really your dream, it might be worth it.
It's not the same, Sandra. It's not the same. We broke up later that night. Besides, I was getting pretty busy with my job at NASA.
Paul, you're the best scientist we've got. It's time to take your shot and fly. Your research is brilliant. Your flight is imminent. Gear up and go to be the first man on Pluto.
You might think that this would be the biggest moment of my life, bigger than my wedding to my senator wife.
Filibuster by day, ballbuster by night.
But there's one thing that I've gotta know before I head off to Pluto. Is my face on a cookie? Damn it, it isn't there. I just want my face on a cookie. I guess life isn't fair, 'cause having your face at the bakery of funny is worth much more than the Congressional Space Medal of Honor. I just want my face on a cookie. Just want a cookie of my face.
Our Time Person of the Year, Paul. Paul, can you tell us a little bit about your goals or ambitions, how you got here?
Forbes magazine wants to know, how did the richest man in the world discover life on Pluto and get the most Instagram followers all in 1 year?
After a whirlwind here in space, I land in New York and head to you-know-what place. Please, God, let there be a cookie of my face.
Hi, Paul!
Hey, Zane, Alex, Eliza.
It must be amazing to have your face plastered in so many windows across America.
Is that... Oh my God, it hasn't all been for nothing. That's me. I finally got my face on a cookie. It hasn't all been for naught. What was it, guys? Was it my Nobel Peace Prize for my charitable work in the Congo? The Pulitzer for my expose on Harambe's exorbitant money laundering scheme? My EGOT for the documentation of me creating the COVID-19 vaccine called coronavirus, the cure?
Well, congrats on all that, but no. It's because you're the only customer who knows all of our names. It's Customer Appreciation Week.
I finally have my face on a cookie. And hey, I look kinda hot. I look hot. I look hot. He just got his face on a cookie. I'd like to thank the Academy, my mom, God. I just got my face on a cookie. My ambition is kind of odd, 'cause having your face at the bakery of funny means so much more than success. I should know! Just got his face on a cookie. I got a cookie of my face.
The heart of the city is wherever you are. Wherever you are. The heart of the city is wherever you are. Wherever you are. The heart of the city is wherever you are.
Come on, sing that with me.
The heart of the city is wherever you are. Wherever you are. The heart of the city is wherever you are.
Thank you. Thanks for listening.